when COVID-19 hit our campus and we had to make the decision to close campus and move all of our services remotely, things happened so fast and information changed so quickly. And RIT tried to make the best decisions with the information they had at whatever given time. So we found that decisions that we made, we had to change quickly the next day, or even decisions that were made in the morning had to be changed in the afternoon. So it was a very trying time, just trying to get information out to students, what to do with their student employment jobs, how to move forward. And, we did the best we could with the information that we had at the time. Now, what we had really asked for departments to do was make any remote work possible for any student that they could, so that we could try and keep as many students employed throughout the rest of spring semester as possible. Now, we do realize that there are a lot of departments that just can't do that. We have the dining services departments that they just can't make remote work possible. A lot of those departments that it is hands-on, it's just not feasible. And so we tried to make every attempt to make work available to as many students as possible, but quickly found that the need for employment far outweighed the amount of jobs that we had available at the time. And so we unfortunately were not able to provide enough work for all of the students who were looking for it. It was not an easy decision to make, to tell students that, we just didn't have work available for them. It was very difficult. It went all the way up through the president's office to determine how to move forward for the duration of the semester. One of the questions that was asked was regarding continuing to pay students for spring semester, regardless of whether there was work available, as some other universities had done. And we just want to make aware that we benchmarked against many other universities, large and small, across the country to see how they were handling their student employment program. And we did find that some universities were continuing to pay their students and many universities were not. And there's a lot that went into the decision to whether or not we can continue to pay, we cannot continue to pay, how do we handle this? But ultimately, the decision did have to be made that we couldn't continue to pay our students through the end of the semester, as some universities across the country did. And it has a lot to do with where funding is coming from, what were they paying their students. Many of those universities are paying out of federal work-study funding, and that is the only funding that they have for their student employment program. Whereas at RIT, we pay federal work-study funding and university funds. And we could not move forward with paying everybody based on where our funding sources were. So unfortunately, we had to make the very difficult decision that we could only pay students who were working and could not just continue to pay everybody for the entire semester. We did, and I know it's still available, have the emergency fund for students who can apply. I know the application process is closed right now as they are trying to work through the applications that they have, but it should be reopened and students should be able to apply for that emergency funding again sometime very, very soon. But that's kind of where we ended up as things unfolded in the first couple weeks. We are at the end of the semester now, and any students who were able to be relocated and given alternate work are coming to the end of their assignments now. And so now we're moving into summer work. And I know there were a lot of questions regarding summer employment. What can I do? Where can I go? And I do want to say that RIT is currently on a hiring freeze, but it does not extend to student workers completely, meaning that there is some work available on campus and departments are able to hire student workers, but it is in a very limited capacity right now. Every position that is to be hired on campus for student employment has to go through a very, very strict approval process. Funding needs to be looked at. What the student is going to be doing, it needs to be reviewed. So there is work available on campus for the summer, but it is very, very limited. My recommendation to students at this point would be continue to check Handshake. While there aren't any jobs on there now, it doesn't mean that it's not going to update daily. Departments are starting to recruit for the summer. So we may see some jobs begin to be posted over the next couple weeks as we head into the summer term. Additionally, we see most of our employment happening within academic departments right now, departments doing research, a lot of them grant funded research. So I would highly recommend reaching out directly to your academic department and inquiring about any positions that are available that you could be doing remotely. You may find that there is something available there and it hasn't been filled yet. So I really highly recommend doing that, reaching out to your academic department. As far as fall goes, I don't have any good answers for fall just yet. We really won't know what fall employment is going to look like until the university decides what RIT is going to look like for the fall, honestly. If we continue working remotely as we are, then we're going to be in the same employment situation as we are, where positions are going to be extremely limited, and strictly those that can be done remotely and really dependent on funding. If we do move back to campus where we have students reporting to campus, departments opening up and need for services, then we're obviously going to see those employment opportunities greatly increase. And we may see, new employment opportunities open that we've never had in the past. We do need to be conscious that all employment opportunities are going to have to adhere to all social distancing practices. So we may find that there are more, we may find that there are less employment opportunities, just dependent on RIT determines they're going to move forward with the fall semester. So we can't make any determinations yet. We can't make any recommendations or suggestions. We are restricted from hiring any students for the fall at this point, because the decisions haven't been made yet. So we hope that those decisions will be out sometime mid next month, and then we can go forward from there. But until then, we just don't know.